is social media sector lead at Glasswing Ventures and someone who helps us to track the Twitter story. He joins us this morning. Jim, let's talk first about this big business idea to shift to subscription. Will it work?
Well, it might work. I mean, I think one of the great things about Elon Musk is he's innovative. He's willing to try different things. On the flip side, he's also wildly unpredictable and can be destructive at times, as we see from over the weekend when he's tweeting conspiracy theories that really threaten their advertising business. And right now, about 90% of their revenue comes from advertising. So I think any new CEO or owner of Twitter coming in is definitely going to want to reduce that dependency, balance the revenue streams. But you got to get there, and alienating your advertisers at a time when 90% of your revenue comes from advertisers, maybe not the smartest approach.
Also, who wants to pay for Twitter, I guess, is the other thing that we're going to see play out in real time. Now, I mentioned they've already got a product called Twitter Blue. We don't know how well adopted that is. The idea of them having to force people who are verified on the platform with that much-loved blue check mark to then have to pay for that, is that something you think that will gain traction?
I think it can. It's interesting. You see a lot of people being almost angry about that. How dare you? And so you have to get past the initial emotion. Nobody wants to take something that's been free and have to pay for it from a consumer perspective. But there's no doubt that much beloved, as you said, blue check mark has a lot of commercial value, right? And it's a fair question for Twitter to say, hey, how can I get paid for some of that commercial value in a way other than advertising? And so, the discussions thus far have not been particularly smooth. I don't think Twitter Blue was particularly successful, but I do think there's a nugget of something to work on there. And what they need to do is find a way to roll that out. Probably $20 a month is a bit much for normal people, but if you're Kim Kardashian or somebody who's got millions or tens of millions of followers on there, I mean, it's almost ridiculously cheap. So they've got to be a little bit more thoughtful about how they do it and mitigate some of the anger, but I think there is a real potential there. And
some people are probably saying, why are you guys still talking about Twitter? They're not public anymore. It was never much of an exciting investment in one's portfolio, basically a frustrating stock for much of its existence on the public markets. But I imagine, Jim, we're going to have to keep close tabs on Elon Musk's game plan here because of the other companies that are publicly traded that are in this social media world. If he can be successful, does it put more pressure on them?
Yeah, I think it does. And also, don't forget, he took it private. I mean, how many companies have we seen go private, do some restructuring and changes and then go public again? So I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of years down the road, particularly if he's successful, they go public again. And you're right, they could be the canary in the coal mine, to use a negative analogy, or something more positive as an indicator of what works or what doesn't work on social media. Twitter's very unusual and very different than the other platforms, so we should be very careful about overextending or overgeneralizing, but I think you're exactly right. They are definitely potentially a harbinger of things to come.
Okay, well.